last week. This is kind of like the section four to the whole thing, the tech revolution shaping how stories are made and seen. Um, you know, kind of looking at it like AI is the co-pilot and not driving the force of creativity, but kind of in your back pocket, in your back seat, a little bit of driver's assist, but you can't let go of the wheel. I guess that's a good way to put it. Don't let go of the wheel. Keep on the straight and narrow and let your story get built. So, I mean, the whole artificial intelligence thing, ranging from, futuristic concepts to, practical tool integrated, across filmmaking, the whole filmmaking pipeline, all the different divisions, pre-production, AI assist is helping with script analysis, identifying potential potholes and suggesting, character arcs and that sort of thing. You know, and again, that's why it's important to know how to build a script and how to navigate the whole storytelling system is so that you know where to get help, where if you need it, and to as a kind of oversight. And hate to use the word co-pilot, but it's not the software, but as a co-pilot, helping you steer. Um, in production, it's aiding in animation, where CGI once stood fully, even to the point where you don't need green screens. It's getting better and better and better by the second. Post-production, it's a given, where so many things, even on organizing shots and, being able to keep, your production, in key and in tone. That's helping so much in post. And I think in the coming year, we're going to see a lot more use of it. Just for the simple real, I bet you we'll see a lot of the B-roll where they're talking about what they're doing, just like they have on the making of this and making of that. You'll see the difference in that. Uh, Even in the recent past, when Rich and I were working on a film, while they were building the film, they were uploading all their digital files. They were creating a working rough of the whole film. By the time that day was done, that was already dropped into its spot. Was it completed? No, but they had a work, and the day of wrap, they had a working model of the movie. So yeah, you have to go in there and do all your cleanups and fix ups and your color correcting and everything, but and your ADR and changing scenes and adding
They're,
scenes.
they're
But
basically editing as you go.
what's that?
They're basically editing as they went.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Which was pretty cutting edge, and you couldn't do that with film. It just took too long, So that started what really, you know,
A while ago now.
yeah. I mean, some of the early stuff was at the turn of the century, which is just kind of funny. That's 25 years ago. I mean, stuff John was doing was so ahead of its time. When he stepped over from digital tape, he had already stepped over from film to digital tape, which was just, hey, you can look at it right away, to from digital tape to, memory, where boom, it's instant, it's ready, upload it, cut it in, drop it into its spot that we want, and we'll do the final changes on the edit.
So
So
why do you think that people were so excited with that new technology, but some people are not excited about the AI? I mean, what is
But
it?
there was pushback too with that. They're going, no, no, no. This is garbage. Nothing can compare to film. You know.
Was there no?
In the meantime, Kodak and Technicolor and all them were like, in a panic, saying, "Hey, we're not going to have film." They were already jumping on the bandwagon, creating, you know, solid memory. So
And that came from Japan, right?
you know, I think a little bit of it, but I think some of the stuff came from here. I mean, if you go way back, while they were still playing with uh the what was it? The two formats for video.
VHS and Beta.
Yeah, beta. While they were still playing with beta, they were still trying to do the the video discs. At that same time with the video discs, they were already playing around with, solid memory where, hey, so this can change some stuff. So like if we're doing it to sell the vision of the movie instead of tape, putting it on memory, on hard memory, you're putting it on a disc and not a tape, you know, that was they were doing that in Japan and getting CDs way before we were,
Right.
you know. Those that were in Asia at the time, I sure can testify to that. I'm sure with you, Scott, if you were over there at that time, you probably seen that was so prevalent. I mean, even in Greece, I remember they were getting, these from Japan, that were like, all the elite had them. So yeah, that is true. So and like I said, the ones that really want film, they wanted film. Even Malik, our director on Cash Only and uh, Broke English recently, he shot part of it on 16 and 35, and then the rest was video. So because it was a look that he was looking for. You can get that look digitally, but
Yeah.
he wanted to do film. Wasn't cheap. It's like, there was always that piece in the budget that you had to figure out how many feet is it going to take to shoot that shot. So there was a calculator for that. It was like I had it like on a spin wheel somewhere. It's in a box somewhere. That
Why do they do that, you think, if they can get the same look and save money? I don't understand.
traditionalists, it's in the same way with this.
Is that ego?
I don't know if it's ego or, the lust for the old, it's like, hey, I don't want to let go of it, or I want to be different. I can't categorize Malik why he did it. I think he really felt that that was a look he wanted, and it's very hard to get that shot. And it takes a big talent to get, and he's very, very talented on his direction and on his cinematography too. He knows it in and out. That's what he went to school for. So he can paint with unseen light,
Hmm.
and he really can. And he did a great job of. I saw the dailies on that, still being edited. It's literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of editing on that film, with 78 characters in that. So they're coming close to being done with it, him and Nick. But I would love to get Malik on here one day and hear his take on that. So maybe that's something we can do in the future. But that I think a lot of the other traditionalists is for the sake of this tradition, sake of being different, sake of holding on to something from the past. My thought is, hey, I still paint in oils, I still paint in acrylics. There's people that want to buy paintings from me from the old country that want it done the old way. I can knock it out quickly, a digital photo, even without using AI, just a wand and a tablet. They don't want that. They want that hard uh painting, that real painting that came out of my hand. I think this is a different thought because you have a film that's telling a story. The bottom line is you have to get the story out in order to maintain your job. You have to have that product out there. What is the main viewing of it? If it's in a theater, it's gonna be digital. It's gonna be converted over to digital. There was so many of those cameras at the theaters that were converted over to digital units and still projecting, and eventually those all disappeared and new projectors came in.
So even if they shoot on film, it has to be go back to digital so they
Yeah,
can show
pretty
the
much.
movie.
You're not gonna ship reels around the world. I mean, there's hardly any theaters that have them anymore. To do that. Everybody's digital. It's in the world of HD and beyond.
Mhm.
4K, 8K. VR, which is gonna just take so much memory for every frame. On and on. So it's about efficiency, versus creativity, I guess.
Mhm.
The primary benefit, you know, of efficiency. It's about making money. It is, like he always says, the film business is a business,
Mhm.
and are there ethical concerns sometimes? Yeah, there is. I mean, AI generated content, is versus, hey, I'm going to take, 3 days and we're going to set up this shot and we're going to have, these seven guys, one after another getting shot and falling off the building. We're going to have the balloon set down there. We're going to do shot after shot after shot to get that look. Hey, you know what? If it's an ancillary object and it's really just, you know, fodder for the story. Hey, they're getting shot and they're falling down. Do you really need to spend, you know, weeks setting up those shots and thousands of dollars in indemnification to pull that shot off when you could just go ahead and create that with an AI? Say, hey, here's the actor. I want his vision. And let's say he's just an extra that's up there. You don't really see his face, you don't see anything. It's the stunt that gets pulled off. It's not primary to the story. Now you got like an actor, Tom Cruise, that's hanging on the side of an airplane. That that's marketability because hey, this guy did his own stunts. Hey, that's cool. But all the other 150, 200 extras that are falling and getting knocked down and shot and exploding, you know, that's millions of dollars to pull that stuff off. So you could pull off shots by doing it that way. It was the same concerns that they had with CGI. Well, we should use real guys. We're taking away jobs. So you can do that, but it still costs thousands and thousands of dollars, to pull off those CGI shots.
Well, in '61, I mean, well, when Billy Crystal, did '61 and he made the Tiger Stadium into Yankee Stadium, you know, a lot of those hundreds, 70,000 people in the stands were all CGI back
Yeah.
then.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was. So I think Spielberg said, um, the real magic is movie magic is when you take and you're shooting with a film camera and it 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 appears on an image when you drop it into the bath and it becomes an image. That's kind of magic. It's not magic the other way. That's how he had said it. It's magic. The whole process, the whole chemical process is kind of magic. How an image appears. It is in this way still. I kind of look at it like, hey, this is magic. You're using words to create images from a massive amount of knowledge in that large language model that is able to create the still image and then make it move and follow what the instructions are that it's doing it. But that's time, that's money, that's giant dollars to be able to save, on a film to pull off stories that weren't able to be done. I mean, the millions of dollars that was it Amazon Prime did recreating, um, World War II Germany and Japan. You know, the accuracy of it is just incredible, and it made towns and villages and sets and vehicles and stuff. It probably reduced down to a quarter of what they spent by using an AI. I mean, it's coming quickly, and we're going to find out fast. I think the major benefit is benefiting from the technology that's set out there. You know, benefiting, with the speed and accuracy of being able to tell your story in a quicker way, and being able to produce scripts that were at one time unproducible because of the dollar value behind it. I mean, stop and think. Hey, I want to shoot in Moscow, 1972. Well, it takes a lot to create Moscow 1972.
Yeah,
You know, Building a set, doing all that. If you're doing it on a virtual set, and you're there, it's not to mention sci-fi and all the rest of it. So,
sure.
and I think it'll be sustainable. I really do. I think that this is going to take it to the next generation of filmmaking. I don't know if that's going to be like, holographic imagery, whatever, but I think this is going to carry on long time, just like film did originally. Look how many years they had of film. Was it over 100 years? And then we stepped into digital, and it didn't last that long until AI came. I mean, when you stop and think of it, it's not that long of a time, saying from the 90s till now.
Well, a lot of it is a step up from CGI. I mean, honestly,
What's that?
it's just a lot of it's a step up from CGI.
It just feels like a natural progression, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah, because things were getting produced with CGI, and now this is like a step up to me.
I
Can I
mean, I
jump
mean,
in here for 1 second on that?
yeah,
Because
Yeah.
I just saw something in the news. Like, so do you remember in Marvel, or maybe I'm saying X-Men, I'm sorry. And what's her name? The blue one. She changes colors.
yeah.
Yeah, she changes. What's her name?
It's
Oh
not
my gosh.
Sapphire, is it?
No, I feel stupid now for even bringing this up. What's her
Yeah,
name? She's a major character. She's
yeah,
blue and she can turn into
yeah, I know.
anyone.
I feel
What's her?
bad.
No one knows her name.
I don't know more. I don't know what.
Uh, anyway, that
Damn, I can't
effect,
think of her name. Oh
that
my
Okay.
God,
effect
I've
of
seen
her
it a dozen
face
times.
going blue, like turning from a blue, whatever she is, into a
Yeah.
human. Each time they did that was 100 grand.
Wow.
But now they have it on Pika Art. You can do it for basically for free.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
It's just okay, like the CGI stuff. Like remember, we had to put all the dots and everything. Now you have it
Mhm.
where the camera can just look at you, and they have these tools out there. I mean, these are the kind of things we need to chuck into our stuff. But at the end of the day, the things that used to be really expensive, like you're talking about, they're just more accessible. But I have to push back a little bit, Mike. I'm going to
Okay.
say that they're going to
Go
go
ahead.
further up the tech stack, and they're going to do more experiential things, and it's going to be even crazier and bigger. Think IMAX, but more interactive. I don't even know what it is yet. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's gonna get. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, think about a year from now. Even.
Yeah, because they're gonna look at what that dome out thing they built out in Vegas or something. They're gonna come up with something different that only a Sony studio could come up with.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, what is it going to be, the holodeck? You know, I mean, in some ways,
Yeah, whoever
I mean,
does that first makes the most money, right?
right?
Yeah.
It's going to drive
Who's
me
gonna write
nuts.
the stories for the holodeck though?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that's the thing. Again, that's the bottom line. It's still stories. It's still writing the screenplays. It's still, of course, the film by it's us helping you create the stories and using AI as a partner to, as a co-writer, not to write the story for you, but to help you with your story to create a story that is the best version it could be. That's where we come in to teach you the tools how to write your story. And yeah, it's important. It's important to understand your story and how to create a story and how to write your story.
Well, that goes back to, the AI it hallucinates all the time. It has all kinds of issues. And if it doesn't, it does understand frameworks. And that's why we have such great results when we use our materials, because it's following a
following the rules.
methodology. So if you act like that's why right away when Mike started using AI like a year and a half ago, whatever, like this, right away he had good results because of the fact you have to have those information dense keywords. You have to understand what you're asking about because you can't just one shot a whole script with an AI at this time. And even if you could, it'd probably suck.
I
There's
tried
there's a
it.
methodology.
I tried it. I literally tried it to see if it would do that. And you know what? Its writing is phenomenal. It's great, but it falls off the rails. It
The
loses the
context
attention
window's too
span.
small.
It doesn't. It like without the guidelines. And I haven't tried it using the words of film by guidelines just straight out. But it catches errors when I make errors. That's for sure. But to say, hey, just on the first pass, I did a couple of stories, and it would get stuck in areas and just keep going and going and going because it liked its thought or whatever, and it's
But
like, okay,
yeah,
hey, that's enough of that. We
yeah,
didn't
it's
move
it's
on
just
to
because it's not designed to do like that. No offense. I mean,
right.
it's not. It
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 just
what it needs is a program behind it to piece things together through an actual framework,
Right.
and you guys have been teaching this a long, long time. You have to do the background work before you can do the next part and the next part and the next part. And it just runs out of memory unless you have something behind it. I've
Yeah.
experienced it too much, it just loses context.
Oh, and by the way, the girl's name was Mystique, and that was Jennifer
Mystique,
Lawrence.
thank you. Gosh,
I could not
I
think
can't
of it
believe
at
I
all.
forget that. I know. I feel dumb.
I remember her name was Jenny, and I could Jennifer Lawrence. So that's what I came with, it. And it's I punched it. Who's Jenny when she was blue? So that and Nebula and the other one with Avengers and stuff, she was blue too. So, but it was like the famous one is Jennifer Lawrence and that uh, painted on pretty much rubber outfit. So,
But yeah, that's what we wanted to talk about a bit about today, just about again, AI and how we'll be using it, how you'll be using it. And again, for our writing program, we're looking for writers who want to learn the art of writing, not have the AI write for you, but how to use it as a tool that's going to help further your writing. That's what we're about here.
right, and making sure that your own authenticity, is paramount to to the whole ecosystem of screenwriting and storytelling, And I think the ones that are really going to drive it forward are the the little islands out there that are making the most noise on social media, the ones that are creating marketing campaigns and pushing a product, pushing a theory, pushing uh, their wares, their classes, whatever. Their story. They need to tell a story to be able to promote their product. And I think a lot of the new things that are out there, you see them pushing and creating some great stuff. It's like I always used to say this, pre-AI, that some of the highest paid directors are the ones that do the everyday directors that do the trailers that get hired to do a trailer for the movie, for a movie. It's like, okay, I need you to show this movie, to make it very marketable. You can't tell what happens, but
Okay.
you gotta sell it. So here's all the script, here's all the footage. You know, give me, a quick 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and then a 33 minute teaser, 90-second teaser, out of all that. But don't tell the outcome and don't give any spoilers. So it's like it's so hard to do, you
Well,
know.
they know how to edit. They know how to tell a story.
Right. Tell the story without destroying the story or giving it away.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
I mean
without
that
using
and
words.
that's a big talent to be able to put that onto. And then plus this is going to open up a lot for I think it's also shrinking the windows for independent filmmakers to be able to do, some sponsored content. I think that's you know, going to come about too, especially with this whole nano influencer thing,
Wow,
you
that's a
got
great idea. The modern soap opera.
yeah, yeah. There's
Just a one-to-one sponsorship.
yeah,
We'll start with rumors and accusations. We'll see if
right.
we
I
can
mean,
get
webisodes.
tied. We'll bring back the soap opera.
Yeah. It's sell a bar of
Hey,
soap that
it's a good place to
makes your
wrap.
hair not gray.
That's awesome. All right. Well,
So,
thank you, gentlemen. That was amazing.
so if
Thank
anybody's
you.
got any questions, shout at us and we're here.
Wordsthefilmguy.com.
Yes, sir.
All right.
See you next week.
See you next.